inaugural Summer 61 campaign using the a.o.m mod. So, last episode we did ourselves one engagement, and that was over here at Frederick, Maryland, with the Army of Shenandoah, supported by Johnston's Corps from the Army of Washington, making an incursion into Maryland and fighting it out at Frederick with our Army of the East and Engineer Corps. Even though Fremont was an overall command, his corps was not on the field until the second day's fighting, and towards the end of it at that. So really it was Major General Kimes' battle, and sadly he was killed in action along with Colonel Redbreast, one of the division commanders, being wounded. Other than that, it doesn't seem to much else has happened. They still not taking Kentucky, which is kind of surprising. I figured they would have taken Covington at this point, but because there's two rebel armies there, and they just have not capitalized on the fact that nobody's there. I mean, they've moved up to Cleveland. No, they still haven't taken Pittsburgh either, which is a little odd, but they have effectively cut us in half. So, here's what it is. But, yeah, that's basically it for a recap. Really, nothing much happened this last episode, so we're going to go jump into the historical record now. From the Journal of General Gruntpa, dated 16 March, 1862. Received word of another rebel push, this time to my east. The Army of Shenandoah, supported by Johnston's Corps from the so-called Army of Washington, attempted an invasion into Maryland. Thankfully, the Army of the East, preparing for operations in the Shenandoah Valley, was at Frederick and was able to repulse them. The fighting itself, from reports I have read, was not too bloody for either side. The cost for the Army of the East could be considered high due to the wounding of a division commander and the loss of their corps commander, Major General Kimes, who from all reports was shot from his saddle while extolling his men to fight. May he be buried and remembered with the honor he has earned. My men are heartened by this victory, and also the planned parade and celebrations for tomorrow. I'll inform my division commanders at tonight's meeting that tomorrow's events will be a little different than they expect. I believe Bobby Lee is still recovering from his last attack, and I plan to capitalize on that. A letter from Colonel Jameson Redbreast, dated 16 March, 1862. Brother, I write to you with a heavy heart this evening. Yesterday afternoon, the rebels hit us with a surprise reconnaissance in force along camp near Sharpsburg, Maryland. We have been preparing for the coming festivities a few days hence when a rider came bolting through camp yelling, "They're coming, boys!" The general placed us very aptly along the east side of Antietam Creek, just outside of town. Just before 1500 in the afternoon, rebel cavalry scouts found my boys as they crossed the stone bridge unawares. After a few volleys, more than 200 bodies of men and horses were blocking the bridge. Soon a small rebel recon brigade were trying their luck. They lost nearly 200 men before they could even get across and up the bank before they shattered. I regret to inform you that our cousin, Captain Kilrain McGinnis, has fallen in battle. He died in a hail of grape shot fired from into his company as he valiantly volunteered them to go forward and clear the artillery that was pounding our lines. I'm told there is simply nothing left to send home to his wife, as he simply vanished into pink mist, along with at least a dozen other men. I myself have also been wounded in action by a stray musket ball through my left thigh, and my dear horse Lightning was killed from under my solid shot. Minutes later, the commanding general was also killed in action, as well, under the very same terrible barrage. I'm also told that I'm being hailed as a hero for holding the line alongside the Irish Legion, and to meet the president in the coming weeks. I'll be making my way back to New York tomorrow morning to escort the general's body back to his family, and to await further orders while I'm in the Mend. Be seeing you soon. Jameson. P.S. Mention nothing of the battle to my dear wife, as I do not want her to fret any more than she already is with my being gone. From the diary of Brigadier General Tom R. Daywood, dated 2 February, 1862. Feels like it was a long time since I had the chance to sit down and reflect over the situation of the war. I've been very busy with keeping up the morale of the division. Christmas and New Year just went past in a hurry, and although the Corps haven't seen any actual battle in a long time, the spirit of our forces seemed to be in good shape, although the temperature being cold. I guess a campfire and decent food supply does that. We caught 3 deserters from Colonel Trump's brigade a week ago. The men had been imprisoned awaiting a trial led by General Gruntpa. If you ask Trump, he would shoot or hang these men in the blink of an eye without a fair chance to defend itself. If it was up to me, I guess I would give them the option to come back or face the consequences. But to be honest, I probably would just let them go. I have the worst trait of them all when it comes to being a commander: sympathy. But that does no good in ordering a charge or defending a position. You have to keep those kinds of feelings away and have the guts to sacrifice those men in front of you. It's either that or total defeat. I admire our Corps commander in that sense, that he seems to have little or no doubts in his decisions. But me, I have a hard face outwards, but my inner seems to have doubts in every step I take. Spring is around the corner. I've already seen signs of it. Ordered my brigade commanders to start preparing and drilling our troops for the upcoming campaign. No doubt we are in an uphill situation with manpower and equipment. Someone should go to the Capitol and kick those politicians in behind for not doing enough. Maybe I should send Trump. At least give his men some respite for building those damn gigantic walls he somehow thought were very extremely greatest idea ever. An overheard conversation between Colonel Trump and Major Musk in camp. Colonel Trump, sir. Yes, Major Musk. What is it this time? Sir, I just want to inform you that the boys have been properly drilled today, and, well, they are a bit confused about the drill routines of the brigade. What way, Major? Well, the other brigades usually march, shoots, or do hand-to-hand combat, but we are building walls. Yes, Major. Building a wall is a natural part of a soldier's life in combat. I can't see the problem here. No, I can't actually. But sir, it's not the wall itself, it's the size of the wall. So, go on, Major. Is it really necessary to build them 10 feet thick and 30 feet high? I mean, the boys, even when sitting on each other's shoulders, can't reach over and shoot at the rebels. And what about the signs they have to put up? Like these ones, Mexicans stay home and you're now entering a tariff zone. Please have your wallets ready. I still don't see the problem, Major Musk. But the boys are getting confused. We are slightly south of Washington, D.C., and to the best of my knowledge, Mexico is way, way down south. I'm very aware of where Mexico lies, Major Musk. I went to school, you know. But, sir, we just want to know what this is about. Major Musk, did you complete the wall? Yes, sir. Good. Tomorrow you will march 500 feet north of the current wall and build another one. Same signs, but replace Mexicans with Canadians. Sir, what's the meaning of this? You will see soon, Major Musk. By the way, I heard you got engaged yesterday with one of the girls in camp. Yes, sir. Who's the happy girl? Miss Winnie, sir. Elon, you mean that sacrilegious remnants of the dinosaur age that has crippled more men than the whole rebel army? Sir, now I think you're just plain mean. Miss Winnie has a beautiful soul, once you get to know her. Elon, what's she doing right now? She had an afternoon meeting with John Gruntpa. They were to discuss, well, something about positions in lower regions. Maybe they're planning a march south for the army to capture Richmond. Do you know what Miss Winnie's occupation is in camp, Elon? Not really. Some sort of caregiver for the troops, like a nurse, but I'm not sure. Well, pretty sure you two will get along just fine, Elon. I wish you a happy engagement. Oh, and yes, you might want to stay away from activities with your new fiancé tonight. You'll need those hips ready and stable for building the northern wall tomorrow. Yes, sir. That's all, Major Musk. Once again, thank you to everybody who decides to add to the historical record through diary entries, letters, the overheard conversations, which are new, which I'm really enjoying. And that's mostly due to Rainy Day Today, longtime channel viewer, coming up with some interesting stuff for my commander to interact with. I'm really loving it. I'll be honest, I had a hard time not bursting out laughing while I was recording some of that stuff. You can probably hear it in my voice. I just had a hard time reading it seriously. But, all right, I think that covers everything for now. So it is March 16th, 6 a.m. So my plans are going forward. So we discussed the spring offensive last episode. It's still not spring yet. That doesn't come until April. Though, after this attack here at Frederick with the incursion, this location, and Lee's last attack up here in Washington, I'm going to capitalize on what I believe is him still recovering and make a move on Fort Washington and try to take that down before his army's ready to do anything about it. And we will be doing that tomorrow as per my plan. I'd always planned on a St. Patrick's Day action of some type. And originally, if the rebels hadn't done anything, it would have been a battle at Washington, D.C. But for now, a little change of plan. So, we gentlemen are getting right now at 6 a.m. My division commanders will be getting tonight at around 2000 in-game, theoretically. Everybody's planning on celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and during the Civil War, St. Patrick's Day wasn't a big event as it is now. Irish in America celebrated it very heavily. It also led to a lot of, historically, it led to a lot of issues in places like New York City and Chicago, because people just didn't understand the reasoning behind it. But what we were planning on is the St. Patrick's Day parade in the morning, and the men are expecting to do a review and then be let loose to celebrate, doing races, getting drunk, and getting food around the town. That's not what's happening. We're going to march our men right down the main street, past the White House, past the president, and keep on marching out the other end of the city and down to Fort Washington. No stopping, no review, and no party, boys. The only party they're going to have is digging entrenchments and besieging that fort. And hopefully we can take it down fairly quickly. So that's my plan for this episode. If we make it to April without them rebels reacting too much, we'll begin the offensives in other regions, such as the Army of Mississippi and its plan to move up to Peoria, cut over to Bloomington, and come back down to south on Springfield using the rail lines. And the Army of Ohio moving directly east to take on Cleveland. The only thing that's not going to happen is the Army East moving. Now that General Meade's in charge, their readiness should recover fairly quickly. It says only 25 days to full readiness, so they should be ready to go in 10 or so days. Once they're in the green, we'll start pushing them into the Shenandoah Valley and making way for the Engineer Corps to follow up and build some fortifications here to block the valley crossings. All right. I think that covers everything for now, so I'll be back with the next incident. Alright, it's now March 17th, and so it is time to begin our St. Patrick's Day parade, straight out of the city and down to Fort Washington. So thankfully this plan does keep us within Washington, D.C.'s range. Kind of sent these orders a little late in the day. But the parade is moving forward. So we've only moved on one day, as I said, so it means I'm going to be ready to go for at least March 27th, which is fine because that'll put us right towards the beginning of the spring offensive season. I don't know why it would take four hours for orders to reach this core, but it did. There we go. And there goes the parade. And we just need everybody to be ready to fulfill their duties everywhere else. Everyone else is green to go. So hopefully we can kick this off soon. Actually, I could probably start moving the army of Mississippi now. 34 degrees. I'm going to be moving by rail to Peoria. So I could probably just move them now. So we'll go ahead and do that. And it's not showing me how much I control the rail line here or how much I do not control, but it's a lot colder up here than anywhere else, and still snow on the ground, so I'm going to hold off on moving the Army of the Ohio just yet. So, things are beginning to move. Right, it is now April 1st, and things are not underway as much as I'd hoped them to be, as weather conditions worsened out here in the west right after I started getting my troops on the move. The temperatures actually got colder and snow started falling again, so operations in the west have ground to a halt. Along with our siege here at Fort Washington, which I expected to be over already, is still ongoing. Even though we are assaulting the fortification, it has taken us well over a week so far. And myself and my avatar are starting to feel a level of anger at the lack of progress in this siege. And in a great fit of military acumen, General McClellan ordered General Fremont, commander of the Engineer Corps, to move down to the Delaware Peninsula, seize the town of Drummondton in Virginia, and build a fortification here to retain control of the town and the port, neither of which are of any importance to the war effort, and the fort's not even in a location to help secure the entrance to Chesapeake Bay. Yeah, this is something that did happen. And no, this was not the AI controlling it. This is me building on the backstory of the campaign, just to be clear about that. So, things are not going smoothly to start off this new year of 1862, this fresh start of the war. But it is April 1st, so it is time to go over to monthlies. Economy. Currently, we're sitting at AA, which is excellent. We did increase our debt by 25 million. We did just cut another bond due to the building of this fortification over here. Currently, our debts amount to 65 million, which is still fairly low for even this point of the war. Current economy cycle is recovery. Wealth of our population is below average and decreasing compared to the previous month. Our tax revenues did increase by 3.3 million, but because it's the winter, there's not much in the way of taxes coming in. Last month, one was constructed, one fort, which is it's not constructed yet. It's under construction. That's going to take 74 days for that fort to complete. So this is going to throw off my plans for Virginia while that's happening. Total export volume last month was 440 million going out, with 453 coming in. So pretty even on. pretty damn good, actually. Average core production over the last 3 months is 445 million, a change of negative 9.7 million. And our economy lacks neither food, locomotives, so we're still kind of lacking the same things. We're no longer, once again, we're no longer lacking iron, but neither is something we do need for the production of ammunition. And food, I mean, it's the winter, so food production is going to be lower. Looking at the finance reports, we had a total revenue of 354 million, but a total expenditure of 392 million. So spent 38 million more than we brought in, but once again, it is the winter. As soon as spring hits and the farms are operating again, everything else is really where it should be. We should start seeing some money come back in again because our military is not very big. Our army upkeep is 110 million, which even I think is a bit high for the lack of soldiers that we have in the field. And I do have some modern weapons in the military, but not enough to really cause an expenditure jump of this type. Intelligence. According to our intelligence sources and analysis, the Confederate government is currently discussing the following policies: Army Reorganization and First Conscription Act, which is basically what we're working on right now ourselves. It's probably going to take them just as long to complete it as we are. They've done the following projects of artillery reform, counter-propaganda, and recruit agents. Artillery reform is going to help them out a lot, but they already have a ton of guns in the field. They don't need more guns. Every one of their armies. If you go off the way the a.o.m mod sets up the armies, there's a lot of small batteries in the forces that got consolidated later on in the war. So rebels are just sitting on a load of batteries from the way it's set up. Their current relations with Great Britain is 39%, so that has not changed at all. And it says they recruit 200 men in one brigade, so that's a new battery. And there's a new Army of Illinois. Okay. And 7 new ships have started construction. I don't know what it is with AI and building ships that I never see them use. Right now, it says their army is consolidating and regrouping, which would be the army of the so-called Army of Washington and its supporting forces around the area there. Looking at strategy, national morale, we're at 55 to their 86, so we do need some victories here. National support, we're at 78 to their 79. Morale of the armies, we're at 95 to their 81. Men in the field, we have 98,204 in the field. They have 217,019. Navy tonnage, we have 132,420 tons, though once again, not all of that is in the water. And our rebels have 67,890, so they're getting those numbers up there. They're jumping that up. Total casualties so far, we're sitting at 5,065 to the rebels 16,637. So I'm liking that number right there. It'd be much, much easier for us to rip down the Confederate numbers than it will be for them to rip ours down. All right, looking at policies. Once again, we're working on Army recruitment and reorg. It says bounties here, but a.o.m mod this changes to Army recruitment and reorganization. That's going to take another 61 days to complete. So we're kind of stuck there for now. So a lot of the reforms that I do want, we get some reforms now. Okay, we can get the artillery reform, which is something we kind of desperately need. So let's take that. And the cavalry reforms are available too, so we'll take both of those. And organization reform, which will allow us to form actual armies with multiple corps, though we do not have the ability to do that. Except maybe here in the east we can get the 2 corps into 1 army, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. I'm not going to take another level of railroad construction. So we're going to be saving that up. Once again, we're waiting to save it up for administration reform, which they made this much, much more expensive. And this is a really powerful tool to help you get your policies done quicker. So they really increased the cost of getting this done. It never used to be this expensive, but they have really increased the cost of that. And we're waiting on some farm subsidies to come in. I'm not taking corn as king because that reduces European relations with the South. I'm going to do everything possible to help the South in that regard and not hinder it. So I think that's everything we're going to take for right now. Like I said, kind of ground to a halt out in the west due to weather conditions, and we were ground to a halt here in the east due to Fort Washington being a little bit tougher to crack than I expected. And Lord knows what Fremont's little adventure here on the Delaware Peninsula is going to do to our operations moving forward. We'll see. All right, it is now April 4th. Fort Washington did fall to us on April 2nd. So I moved my corps back up into Washington, D.C., give it 2 days of rest, and now I am giving it orders to immediately move down to attack the Army of Washington encamped around Manassas. Mostly due to, I was going to give them a few more days of rest, but the Department of Richmond is moving down the peninsula here, possibly to head towards the Engineer Corps, which is not set up for any type of fight. It's just a small brigade of infantry and 1 battery of artillery. So hopefully this will cause the Department of Richmond to hold in place and come back in our direction. We are attacking the superior force. 36,000 Army of Washington, but Beauregard's Corps is 20,000 men and 90 guns. Army of Peninsula is another 8,510 guns. But we are going to be pushing forward. And the Army of the East is ready to go too, so they're going to push into the Army of the Kanawha and Johnston's Corps at Harper's Ferry. Weather up here in the north looks like it has finally cleared up a little bit. Still a bit on the chilly side, but we're now going to be able to move. So we're going to push immediately east and retake Cleveland. And I've already ordered the Army of the Mississippi to begin moving. They are marching across land right now over to Bloomington. Then they will move south to resecure Springfield. But we should have an engagement before then. Depending on whether I can get my army to move or not, my avatar is still a bit angry from, Army of the Peninsula is on the move. What's going on? Are they coming towards us? Looks like we're going to have ourselves a true meeting engagement here. But I was saying my army commander is still a little angry from St. Patrick's Day. His grand plan to march straight out of the city into Fort Washington did not happen as the army didn't make it past the outskirts of the city because the men decided that they wanted to continue celebrating St. Patrick's Day after the parade instead of marching straight out of the town, and I do blame the division commanders for this, as they did not keep their men moving. But it's something I'm going to have to let slide for now. And here we are, next engagement. This one shouldn't be too big. So it's my corps with 19,818 infantry, 1,713 cavalry, and 7 guns. I am going to have to start sending the 2 batteries I have back home to reinforce. Especially now we have the artillery reform done, so they should come back with even more men and more guns. Going up against the Army of the Peninsula with 8,650 men and 8 guns. So less than half our force. I guess they're just here to kind of delay us. I don't know. We'll see. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Long Bridge, Virginia. So we are actually supposed to be on the defensive. And we were defending back here at the Schumacher farm. But my avatar is kind of cantankerous right now. The men did not correctly follow orders, or the division commanders did not follow orders correctly on St. Patrick's Day, delayed the envelopment of Fort Washington by a full day. And then the envelopment of the fortification took longer than expected by almost 2 weeks. And my avatar is angry and wants to push on and continue with this planned offensive for Northern Virginia. So we are not defending. We are going out and attacking. So it's already the end of the day. It's 17:30 of April 5th. So the day should be over in about 30 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. So we're not going to get too far, but we're going to keep pushing. So I'm going to order the Gotcha Guard out forward to reconnoiter where the enemy is. And we're going to lead with the Irish Division, as I do believe that they are the instigators of our corps not leaving D.C. on time, as they were the division that led the parade. They were also the division that held up the march. So Cochrane needs to get his act together and get his damn Irishmen to do their fucking jobs. All right, I think that covers everything. So, I'm back once we have contact with the rebels. All right, 1756, and General Buford has already pissed me off less than half an hour into this engagement, as he delayed the movement of his men and is now moving the blob. The Irish Brigade under Marr has literally marched through them and moving down the road faster than them. We do have our sighting on rebel cavalry. All right, Buford, hold your men. Apparently, I cannot trust you to do your job. Gotcha Guard has done me good service previous to this. Oh, there's the end of the day. So I can't do anything about him for now. But he has officially drawn the ire for a second time of my avatar.
Check your weapons. Anytime now, men.
All right, plan of attack. We're going to shove the Irish right down their throats. Followed up by the Reaper Division. And the Whiskey Vikings are going to sit reserve on this one. We're not going to need them. I have just as many men in the Irish Division as the Rebels have in the field. Engineer Brigade is going to remain behind here and just keep building this wall to get their stats up. Let's bring the batteries forward. We're down to 6 guns in the Artillery Division, so they're definitely going to be getting sent home. One battery at a time, but they're getting sent home. We need to reinforce these batteries. All right, let's kick this off. Oh, look at that. The rebels are all lined up for us. Beautiful. All right, General Saga, take your men off onto the left over here. Are they going to make a gift and come to us? I believe they are. Carcon, let's get your division up here.
Anytime now, men. Sergeant, any word from the commander? Check your weapons. Anytime. Quiet in the rank. Anytime. Wait.
Here they come. Proper meeting engagement.
Anytime now, men. Anytime now, men. We'll get through this. Anytime now, men. Waiting's the worst. Waiting's the worst. Waiting's the worst.
John Buford, take your men off the field. I want you out of my way. Irish, at the double, please.
Anytime now, men. Right shoulder. Save your water. Save your water for when the shooting starts. Right shoulder. Shift. Arm. Anyone got any water to save? Save your water for when the shooting starts. Right shoulder. Save your water for when the shooting starts.
Take down that cavalry. And push into position, damn it.
Save your water for when the shooting starts. Save your water for when the
I do not give a damn about these boys. Just shove them out of the way. Wrong avatar. What the hell is mine? The hell's he doing all the way back here? Forgot to move him forward. I know I ordered you to move up to the fence line, Cochran. Move your goddamn men forward. Get in their faces, like a good Irishman you are. Daywood, bring up your division. What the hell's going on here? Get on the flank. Mar, what is going on? I know I ordered your men forward. Saga, close on that flank. Cochran, what the hell are you doing back here? All of my commanders seem to be in the mood to piss me off today. Damn it, Cochran, I blame you for that. Why were you not up there with your men? Why do I get the deal on this? Get down from that double. Looking. Leveling up slowly but surely. Daywood, bring your division forward. Cochran, rally your men, damn it. They are retreating. Good. Shove into them. Reapers at the double, please. It's in 35th. All right, let's get in there. I'll get the same thing. Go. Get into your job, cavalry. Disgusting amount of casualties. It should have never been that high. And the Cyans just broke. Really? Right, we may have won, but I distinctly feel that the lack of initiative on my division commander's parts and following their orders feels a bit like sabotage. General Buford not moving his men quickly enough, forcing the infantry to bypass them. Colonel Cochran not following orders in a timely manner with his division. This feels like sabotage. My avatar is not happy. So we took down 2,900 of their 8,500 infantry, 500 of their 1,100 cavalry. Got all 10 of their guns, total loss of 3,500 of their 9,500 men. We lost 1,371 of our 19,814 infantry, 73 of our 1,711 cavalry, 0 of our guns, total loss of 1,446 of our 21,615 men. Our casualties should have never been that high. Fort has been followed in a timely manner, and Irish have been in position. Casualties would have never been that high. All right, save this real fast. All right, time to go over the reports. Combat reports. Engineers did not fight. Gotcha guard. Cyan rifles did 56 infantry, captured 30. Captured 11 artillery for a total of 97. Nugget squad did 14 infantry, 3 artillery for a total of 17. Division total of 114. Reaper Division, which only got some shots in at the end. Reaper Rifles did 58 to infantry, plus up to 60. Caught some command staff there. 35th Infantry did 15 to infantry, 75 for the division. Irish Division. Irish Brigade did 521 to infantry, 36 to cavalry, 14 artillery patrol, 571. Riley's Irish did 1,836 to infantry, 229 to cavalry, 48 to artillery patrol, 2,114. Whiskey Worshippers did 94 to infantry, 206 to cavalry, patrol 300, division total 2,985. So the Whiskey Worshippers were on the line the longest, did the least amount of casualties. And Whiskey Division did not fight, and the artillery, 44th Arty did 2 to infantry, and the Whiskey Kegs did 3 to infantry, 5 for the division. All right, strength reports. Cyan Rifles lost 3 dead, 23 wounded, 34 missing, total 60. Aggregate strength of 809, 7% casualties. Nugget Squad, 1 wounded, 12 missing, total 13. Aggregate strength of 829, 2% casualties, 4% for the division. Reaper Division. The Berdans had 11 go missing. We did this is all overnight attrition. 11 from the Berdans, 7 from the Reapers, 14 from the 35th. Irish Division, Irish Brigade, 42 dead, 415 wounded, 87 missing, total of 544, aggregate strength of 1,843, 23% casualties. Riley's Irish, 69 dead, 452 wounded, 56 missing, total of 577, aggregate strength 1,864, 24% casualties. Whiskey Worshippers, 20 dead, 109 wounded, 47 missing, total 176, aggregate strength 2,204, 7% casualties, 17% for the division. And Whiskey Vikings, Sweemoos had 11 go missing overnight. Stockbrokers had 10 go missing overnight. The 20th New York had 16 go missing overnight. And the 44th and the Whiskey Kegs had 1 each go missing overnight. Those men, once caught, will be tied to poles and shot. Desertion in the face of the enemy will not be tolerated. All right, let's see if we got any other commanders. Wounded, Colonel Good of the 3rd Virginia. Wounded, Brigadier General Hill. Wounded, Brigadier General Toombs. And killed Captain Carter of the King William Artillery. So, Division Commander, Brigade Commander. Division Commander, 2 Brigade Commanders, and a Battery Commander. Not too bad of a grab for us, because we just got right up in their faces, which is what I wanted to see. That was my whole plan for this battle, was getting their faces. But if the Irish had actually moved, when I ordered them to move, our casualties would have been lower. I blame Cochran for that, and Gamble for the Whiskey Worshippers. He may end up getting replaced. All right, let's get closed out of here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Glorious victory at the Battle of Long Bridge. Army Peninsula fleeing in panic. John McClernand became famous out of that fight. Battle of Long Bridge is ended with the Army Peninsula retreating in panic. I mean, it's already suffered total casualties of 3,528 men. There are 478 killed and 650 captured and paroled. Our casualties total 1,446 men, 134 killed, 312 missing, and the rest wounded. Captured 1,045 rifles and 2 guns from the field. And 585 men have been paroled, so not all these men survived. All right. So let's get this one rolled off. That was a very short, swift fight. It happened over the 5th and 6th of April. Army of the Ohio is well on its way to Cleveland. Army of Mississippi is almost to Bloomington. And it looks like department number 2 is over here outside of Indianapolis. So that's from April 1st. So they're probably still in that vicinity. But Springfield's the main target right now. All right, that did drop us into the yellow. I'm going to move the men into Alexandria and halt them there and let them recoup. And wait for supplies. I don't know how we are already out of provisions and forage. That doesn't make any sense. Fort is 31% of the way constructed, 69 days left on that. And there is another engagement here from the Army of the Ohio, running into the Army of Ohio. All right, but I am going to stick to my 1 engagement per video rule on this one. So we'll be picking up with this engagement on the next one. So once again, if you're a new viewer, return viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please click that subscribe button. If you do, remember that bell icon so the next video comes out. Follow along in the series and enjoying it. Don't forget to hit that like button and butt stroke that comment section. And whether you're a viewer or a channel member, you can request a brigade of infantry, brigade of cavalry, or a battery of artillery to serve in my armies. Just let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, states from, weapons, uniforms, and an officer, and I'll oblige you on all counts if possible. Can't always guarantee officers or weapons. Everybody have a good day and stay grumpy.